Hello everyone, and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good tonight. We're going to be hanging out for a little while, chatting. I have some topics I'd like to discuss tonight. A couple of really interesting ones. One that is just, it is so stupid. It's kind of funny. So tonight, we're going to be talking about Ruby Rose revealing her willingness to return to the CW's Batwoman under the right conditions. Now, Ruby Rose and the CW parted ways. She, from what we understood, didn't want to be Batwoman anymore, so they ended up replacing her in Season 2. They are using Yavika Leslie now, I think that's her name. They are using her, and obviously the Batwoman show has never had the best ratings, and it's definitely been also still pretty bad going into Season 2. It's even worse than it was in Season 1, but Ruby Rose didn't want to be Batwoman anymore. It was rumored that she was really hard to work with on set. She just was a very snobby, stuck-up type of actress who didn't really want to do hard work. She just kind of like wanted to be famous and make money and have to do minimal work. So she ended up leaving the show. And they literally killed off her character. And that's the story that they said they were going with. That her character was done, was never coming back. They completely replaced her. And now, Ruby Rose is saying, I'll come back under the right conditions. Honestly, I don't know what to say about a Batwoman anymore. It is so hopeless at this point. Season 1 was bad. Season 2's even worse. Season 3 at this rate is just going to be an absolute joke. I want to talk about Activision and a situation that has happened with Activision where Activision, we all know, is a pretty damn bad company. They always are making the wrong moves. They don't really listen to consumers. And while the future projects that Blizzard has in the works are, you know, pretty exciting, like the Diablo games, 2's remaster, which looks really, really good, and then Diablo 4, people are pretty excited for Overwatch 2. There's still a lot of negativity around Blizzard, and that's not going to just change overnight. And Blizzard is known for a lot of their layoffs. They've laid off tons and tons of people, and there's usually something really, really infuriating about the situations, and Blizzard is going through another round of layoffs, citing COVID-19's effects on esports and the industry in general. But they're doing something outrageous yet again because they are giving people, of course, a little bit of severance, health benefits for up to 12 months, and a $200 gift card to Activision Blizzard's Battle.net PC platform. You can't make this shit up. And to boot, to make it even worse, an investor group is pissed that Bobby Kotick is getting a $200 million payout, and last year he made nearly $40 million. But the poor employees getting laid off get a couple of small benefits and a $200 gift card to their own damn platform. How did they think that that was good or okay or acceptable in any world? This world, the next world, and the multiverse. I want to talk about Forbes actually coming out with an article really railing into Disney. Now, Forbes used to be a site that was really bad in most people's opinions. But I feel like lately Forbes has definitely changed, and for the better. I read a lot of Paul Tassi's articles here on the channel because I feel like Paul Tassi is actually a pretty good games journalist or entertainment journalist, because he doesn't just talk about games. I actually feel like he's done a relatively good job over the past like two and a half years And of course, I'm not saying that he's perfect or Forbes is perfect at all by any means, but their entertainment division actually has done a pretty good job lately. And this is yet another pretty good article coming out of Forbes. Disney's firing of Gina Carano is confusing and hypocritical, lacking sound management. And I actually don't think that I've ever read an article from this specific contributor at Forbes, but this is yet another decent Forbes article. And I really wanted to read through it because I just feel like they make a lot of good points, and they really rail into Disney, where we don't see a lot of mainstream media right now railing into Disney. They're just kind of giving Disney a pass, and they're using excuses like, well, Gina Carano was a bad person or a toxic person and all of these bad things. And we're slowly starting to see that change, and we're seeing quite a lot of websites now coming forward saying things like it's not okay. They're being very hypocritical. So I wanted to read that, and I figured we could end off the night with talking about the Justice League. The Justice League launches in a couple of hours when this stream is live. Hi, how are you doing? It releases at 3 a.m. Eastern. It's 8:15 p.m. Eastern here. So it releases in a couple of hours. But the first kind of early access reviews that are going out from press, the reviews aren't really that good. Right now, Justice League is sitting at a 56 Metascore, and it is sitting at a 77% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, before, I get into this, I'll specify more, but obviously, sometimes critic scores are really low, audience scores are super high. Sometimes, reviewer scores are super high, and audience scores are super low. And we won't really know what all of the ratings will look like until the movie's out and fans have been able to watch it and judge for themselves, because I don't really trust early reviews anymore for movies or even products like video games. But I thought that it was really interesting to see that right now the general consensus is that it's pretty mediocre. So we're going to end the evening off with talking about kind of the early reviews that are going up right now, if you guys are excited about it or not. So yeah, those are the topics for tonight. But hello everyone, welcome to the live stream. I hope you're all doing good. Before we get into it though, hi. How's it going? Yeah, can't pay your rent with a $200 gift card. You're fired. Here's some free crap. The worst part is the $200 gift card to their own fucking storefront. It is absolutely mind-blowing that they said to themselves, you know what? I think that this is a good idea. I think people will love getting a gift card to the storefront for the company that just fired them. And they're gonna be happy. They're gonna go, wow, you guys are generous. I don't know what's gotten in the minds. Well, clearly it's just greed at this point that's gotten in the minds of people at Blizzard. I mean, even look at the CEO. Bobby Kotick, $40 million last year, $200 million this year, basically. I mean, come on. Bobby Kotick isn't just rich because of Blizzard. Bobby Kotick also is like one of the CEOs at Coca-Cola or something. So like Bobby Kotick's just a massively rich guy. Okay. But come on. Do you need more money? I get it. Let the man make the money he wants to make, but you'd think that the company that's giving out, bonuses like that to their CEO would be a little bit more thoughtful for the employees that they're firing, when in the past they've gone under massive scrutiny for the way that they've treated employees that they've laid off. And that was 2 years ago at this point. We're not even talking about, circumstances that people are facing now. Bonkers, my friends. It's bonkers. Salt in a wound. It is salt in the wound. All of this outrage at Disney, it's just a distraction tactic so we don't remember that Disney is complicit with. So that I don't understand what you mean. People are outraged at that. People are outraged with the fact that I mean, even look at Mulan. People were very upset with the fact that they had
just donated $53.
Thank you for the $53 donation, Oron. Thank you, thank you.
I thought this would start off your stream rather nicely.
It's not a Severance gift card. I was really looking for that Battle.net cash. Well, thank you, Oron, for the $53 donation. I mean, even look at Mulan, though, going back to the previous comment. People were upset that they literally were filming next to these, you know, Uyghur concentration camps. People were very upset with that. People made a big deal out of that. Even mainstream media actually made a big deal out of that. That they thanked those government agencies in the credits. People were upset with that. So I don't know how that's a distraction when even the mainstream media had picked up on that situation. Snyder Cut should be good. I will see it later tonight. I probably won't get a chance to watch it until Friday, because tomorrow, if you're watching this live, tomorrow I'm going to be live streaming twice. At 1 p.m. Eastern, there is a Square Enix event. It's going to be like 45 or 50 minutes long. They're going to be showcasing like a ton of content coming to some of their new games, and they're also doing a world premiere. So I want to live stream that, and then later in the day I'll be playing some Nier Automata, which is very fun. So I mean, maybe I'll watch like half of it, but I probably won't have the whole movie watched since it's 4 hours long. So long. I hope that the Snyder Cut is good, truly. I really do. Now, when we get to that part, I'll definitely give you all my early thoughts, because I do have a couple of concerns. Yeah, do you guys not have cell phones? They should have given their employees cell phones with Diablo Immortal Beta pre-installed. I mean, if you're gonna go salt in the wound. Yeah, the money goes right back into their pockets. That's what's so pathetic about it, is it's just like, really? Severance gift cards to your own damn platform? Wow. I expected the Snyder Cut to be more, not necessarily better. I feel like that's a good statement, because a lot of people do have their expectations set really high. Then again, people have their expectations set really, really high right now because of how much it's been propped up on a pedestal in a way. I'm hopeful for it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. The regular Justice League movie was poo. Oh, I've given my hot take on that before. I didn't think that the original Justice League movie was that bad. It was not great. The original Justice League movie was not 10 out of 10. But to me, it wasn't like a 4 out of 10 like a lot of people thought. A lot of people thought it was like a 4, maybe a 5. I thought the Justice League movie to come out a couple of years ago wasn't terrible. It just wasn't amazing. I would say it was probably like a 6. A 6, maybe a 7. Probably more like a 6, but maybe like a 6 or a 7. It wasn't terrible. So I'm hoping that the Snyder Cut will be, you know, even a little bit better. If my original thoughts on if my thoughts on the original movie were like a 6, I'm hoping this will be a 7. I'm hoping that this will, you know, be gooder. How about that? Just not even better, just gooder. Just like a little bit more good. Not too much better though. All right, guys, so why don't we get started on the first topic? I think that's the order we're gonna go in. We're gonna start with Ruby Rose. We're gonna move to Activision Blizzard. We're gonna go to Disney, and then we're gonna end with the Snyder Cut, just so that for the Snyder Cut, we can kind of just chat a little bit more. But the first topic I wanted to discuss was Ruby Rose and Batwoman. Now, Batwoman is a disaster. Batwoman cannot be a good show unless they put a huge amount more money into it, and the budget was giant and massive. They, you know, reworked the show from inside out. I don't think that Batwoman could ever be good. Season 1 of Batwoman, I do think that Season 1 of Batwoman was like a 3. Season 1 of Batwoman was bad. And I probably would have said previously that Batwoman Season 1 was like a 2. But then I saw just the very beginning in the trailers for Batwoman Season 2. Batwoman Season 1 is like a 3, and Batwoman Season 1 is a 1. I don't think I've rated anything a 1 in a very, 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 very long time, and there's very few things I would just give a straight out 1. But Batwoman Season 2 is a total effing flop. Batwoman is garbage. Batwoman is just, it's woke. It doesn't have good storytelling. The actors are always really bad. The CGI, obviously, what's good CGI? The CW is really bad with CGI. They used to be better with CGI. But, I mean, if we look at something like Superman and Lois, though, Superman and Lois is actually really good so far. But Ruby Rose originally left Batwoman. It was rumored that she was very hard to work with on set. It was rumored that she really didn't like her part. Basically, she was just a snobby, stuck-up brat. She wanted to do minimal work for maximum payout. And now she's literally saying that maybe she'd think about coming back to the show. So Ruby Rose reveals her willingness to return to the CW's Batwoman under the right conditions. Basically, if she could get paid a shit ton of money, or even a minimal amount of money, because she hasn't gotten any new jobs. Ever since Batwoman, she announced her departure. The whole situation with her leaving Batwoman did blow up quite a lot. People were really shocked by it. But to no one's surprise, she hasn't gotten any job offers. So Ruby Rose left Batwoman suddenly after season 1, and with the actress working on films and the network erasing her from a recently aired Arrowverse special, both she and the CW seem to be moving on. I also think that that's kind of funny about the Arrowverse thing. So they actually removed her from an Arrowverse episode, and I don't know why, and it doesn't make any sense. Because they literally forced her into Crisis on Infinite Earths. They forced her character. She was in season 1 still. Her show was still in season 1, and they slam jammed her into this crossover for the CW shows. And I bet they're looking back on that going, we are such idiots. Because it wasn't ever really explained why they removed her from one specific, like, it wasn't even one episode. It was like one scene, and they can't fully remove her from Crisis on Infinite Earths because she was important, because she set up Batman and all of that. Don't know why they did that. But in a new interview, Rose told Comic Book Movies' Josh Wildling, I mean, I'm obviously moving on to other roles, as I think I've done about 3 films since leaving Batwoman. This is really interesting because if you go to like her IMDb and you look at news about her, she hasn't confirmed 3 movies. I thought that this was really interesting. Nowhere can you find talk about 3 new movies. And she's saying she's done 3 films. She only left Batwoman in the middle of the year last year. We're talking about middle of COVID. We're talking about leaving a show that had really bad ratings and really bad viewership. How did she get done 3 films unless she was like minor roles? Doesn't make sense. 2 + 2 doesn't equal 17, Ruby Rose. However, she went on to admit that should the 2 parties come to an understanding, ladies and gentlemen, she would be open to returning to the show, though not as Batwoman. No one cares. Honestly, I read this news and I was like, who cares? The 400,000 people watching Batwoman? If they're lucky to get that on an episode. She said she'd want to be Kate Kane, and just Kate Kane, as she fears that if she got back into the suit, her reappearance would detract from the series' focus on the new Scarlet Knight, played by Yavika Leslie. The problem here is that Yavika Leslie is even worse than she was as Batwoman, as the character Batwoman. And that's not just gonna change. You know, my problem here is that she's acting like everyone loved her as Batwoman and loved Kate Kane, and oh my gosh, everyone would die to have her back. No one... The show's ratings tanked at the end of season 1. Never mind season 2. Season 2 is worse. But it's not like we're talking about the series going from 5 million viewers to 100,000 viewers. We're talking about, like, there was a gap, but the show is already doing really badly. She said, I would totally think about returning to the show, said Rose. I don't think it would serve the story because I think building the new Batwoman is more important than going back too far into Kate Kane. But of course I would. I would absolutely do anything they wanted as far as that. But you didn't want to do anything they wanted because you quit. You quit. You said, I don't want to be this character anymore. Even though the CW came out with a statement saying they tried to work with her and tried to get her back into season 2. So how does this make sense? It's either the CW's lying or Ruby Rose is lying. Who's lying? I don't understand. Maybe it is the CW lying. I don't know. It could be them causing issues. They really wanted her out, and that could be the case. But either way, there's definitely an issue with both of their stories lining up. Because she's saying she had a fine time and she would be totally willing to be part of the show again, but she's the one that ultimately quit. And she said it was her decision to quit. And how could it even serve the story? We've heard so many retcons in Batwoman. We heard originally that Kate Kane was alive and that Kate Kane just kind of disappeared. And then we heard in the show that she's dead. So which is it? Because either way they'd be retconning what they've said, no matter which direction they go in. Because that also has been a huge discrepancy, is that everyone said Kate Kane's, dead. How would this make sense? So she added playing Kate and introducing her to the world to help inspire a bunch of kids was special, and also who plotted where the show is going with Leslie. I'm sorry if your kids look up to Batwoman, this Batwoman. I'm sorry for you children out there whose parents make you watch Batwoman so that you have a good inspiration in life. And I'm not talking about good iterations of Batwoman. I'm talking about this Batwoman. This Batwoman is trash. The show is trash. I think every character has the potential to be great, except for this version of Batwoman. I'm sorry. We are 0 for 2 right now on Batwomans in the CW. It's not gonna happen. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to watch, Rose said. She is acting like she has played Wonder Woman, okay? I haven't watched the whole thing. It's a beautiful thing to watch. It is so inspiring to see so many people look up to this character. I haven't fucking watched the whole thing, but it's inspiring. Oh, give me a break. How can you say it's inspiring and it's strong and powerful and impactful and all this good stuff if you haven't watched it and you admitted to it? You could have at least said, I've watched it all. You're supposed to be an actress. Actors and actresses come up with stories and lie. But I've watched a couple of episodes, so she probably watched like the first season, got mad that she wasn't in it and stopped watching. And I think how they're handling it is beautiful. And I think it's Leslie's time to shine. Of course, it says CW deleted Rose from the lineup of the Arrowverse's Justice League in a recent special, but it sounds like there's no bad blood. Instead, what we have here might be a vain attempt by the network and producers to push out of people's minds, to a degree, the fact that Rose was ever Batwoman. I could definitely see that. They're probably kicking themselves right now because they forced her into the show, and it didn't end up working out. They shouldn't have done that in the first place. But in other words, the only true caped crusader in the vanguard of hope in the Arrowverse is Ryan Wilder, or so they want us to think. It could be that also be that everybody wants to leave the door open for Rose's return as soon as her schedule is free. Kate Kane's disappearance is a subplot in the new season, and they'll need to wrap that up somehow, and there's no better way than to do so by having Rose make, at the very least, a cameo. Maybe they'll do this. Either way, this show isn't good. This show isn't going to be good. No matter what they do, I mean, I don't even know if Batman could save the day at this point. I wouldn't even watch it for Batman. And I love everything that Batman's in. And I don't even think Batman could save it at this point. Unfortunately, Batwoman is just poor writing. The story is really poor. The screenplay is really bad. The CGI is really bad. The acting's really bad. There's not much to save the CW's Batwoman at this point. And my problem is that I'm glad that some people out there enjoy it. If there are any people out there that enjoy it, truly, I'm glad for you. I'm proud for you. I'm hopeful that your show gets better, but if you're enjoying this, you should probably watch better shows and better movies, because this just isn't it. But that's all that I had to discuss with the Batwoman. I can't talk about the Batwoman anymore, truly. I mean, I'm not an actress, but I mean, I've seen cats that act better than both of the actresses that have played Batwoman. I've seen dogs roll over and pretend to play dead, and that is better acting than what Ruby Rose or Yavika Leslie have done in 2 seasons of a TV show. So next, we're going to move on to Activision Blizzard. Some more depressing news. Well, I guess the last story wasn't depressing. It was just hilarious. Okay, come back to the show then, Ruby Rose. It's not gonna change anything. I'm not gonna watch it. No vote of confidence, not even for Batman. Yeah, I don't think Batman could even save this show at this point. Hello, Monster. How you doing? Hope your evening's going good. I think the CW is desperate to salvage Batwoman, so they're reconsidering bringing Ruby Rose back. Has all the leverage in the situation so she can demand more money and shorter working hours. I guess, but who was a fan of Ruby Rose's Batwoman? I guess more people? Maybe? Yeah, not even Batman can save this. We need to just scrap it, set it and forget it, hit it and quit it. And it's so sad, because I was someone who was kind of hopeful for Batwoman at first. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm always looking for strong female characters that are written in proper ways. I definitely think that seeing strong female characters is something that's so fucking amazing, but it needs to be done properly, and most of the time it's just not done properly anymore. We don't always need to go in the direction of woman power. You can make female characters strong and kind of like independent in a way that is a positive way. And unfortunately, most women we see on or a lot of women that we see on screen now that are being written, like Yavika Leslie's character, Ryan Wilder, they're not written in a way that makes you want to watch the show. And I just feel like they could be written so much better and be so much more interesting. I don't know, I guess it's my internalized misogyny coming out. Sorry, guys. Women, right? The suit will be perfect when it fits a woman. Batwoman. Yeah, it's kind of depresso espresso. Any press is good press. We need to start ignoring shows like this. I wouldn't say any press is good press, because no one cares about this show. Not even the people that they tried to market it to are watching it. That's my biggest issue, is when companies try to market shows in the direction of like the woke crowds, and the woke crowds don't even watch it, so we end up getting 0 for 0 because we don't care about it, the woke people don't care about it, and it's a show for absolutely no one. don't know. Ruby Rose was definitely better than Season 2 Batwoman, but far from good. I agree with that. Unfortunately, you know, these shows just aren't good. Forget Batwoman, give us Power Girl. There are so many... No joke, though, there are so many good female characters that they could write stories about that they just don't. That's literally it. So many good female characters that they forget about and they just leave in the dust. Instead, they go with stories like this. It's just pretty depressing. All right, let's move on to the next topic of the night. I am not ready for this one. This topic truly infuriates me. I talk about Activision Blizzard a lot. Maybe not as much as EA, but I talk about Activision Blizzard a lot. They are just a bad company that makes bad mistake after bad mistake. They do things that make them look 10 times worse than they looked during their previous scandals. And we're talking about a company that has scandal after scandal after scandal. A company that lays off tons of employees, which companies lay off employees, but they always do something to make the situation worse than it needs to be. We're talking about a company that is hypocritical, just like most companies. And unfortunately, Activision Blizzard has made a big, dumb decision, yet again, to put themselves into yet another scandal. I'd like to say, I wish that Blizzard was a good company. I love a lot of Blizzard franchises. I love a lot of games that Blizzard has in the works and that they've put out in the past. I love Diablo, you know, Activision, Call of Duty, love Call of Duty. Yeah, like, I'm excited for Overwatch 2. I hope that it is decent, at least. I'm excited for Diablo 4 and Diablo's 2 remaster, which looks freaking amazing. It's too bad that Blizzard is a company that I don't want to support, because I truly do think that they could be such a good company. But Activision Blizzard has laid off about 50 employees, citing COVID-19 effects on its esports league. Now, I do want to say, because this specific article doesn't mention it, and I'm going to read 2 articles about this topic, but right now the number is rumored to be about 190 actually. They are reporting that they've only laid off 50 employees, but right now there's a lot of rumors circulating that do seem believable that they've actually laid off about 190, so almost 200 employees, so keep that number in mind while we're going through this. But Activision Blizzard on Tuesday said it was laying off about 50 people across various divisions, dealing predominantly with live events and esports as part of a restructuring. This is always the excuse. It's always restructuring, rebranding, you know, changing divisions, you know. There's always some type of wording to make it sound more understandable. The company cites the COVID-19 pandemic's effects on both the viability of live productions for its esports leagues and the changing viewership habits of its core audience over the past year. I do understand that right now there aren't any real live events going on for a lot of things, especially the esports industry has definitely been affected by COVID-19, as have most, you know, industries, most companies, people in general have just been really affected by COVID. But it says players are increasingly choosing to connect with our games digitally, and the esports team, much like traditional sports, entertainment, and broadcasting industries, has had to adapt its business due to the impact of the pandemic has had on the live events, an Activision Blizzard spokesperson told Bloomberg in a statement. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Jason Schreier again? Bloomberg again. I can't. Can we maybe get some, I don't know, some more people that are game journalists that, like, companies go to or people talk to besides Jason Schreier? According to Bloomberg, laid off employees. This is what really pisses me off, okay? According to Bloomberg, laid off employees will receive 3 months severance, health benefits for up to the next 12 months, and a $200 gift card to Activision Blizzard's Battle.net PC platform. The layoffs also include some employees at Activision-owned mobile firm King, the makers of Candy Crush. You can't make this shit up. Okay, so let's just look at this for a minute. So laid off employees during a pandemic, let's keep that in mind. Laid off employees will receive 3 months severance, health benefits for up to 12 months, and then we'll talk about the gift card. So it should have been a year of healthcare. The health benefits that we're hearing about are supposedly up to the next 12 months. So there's that. And I think that it should be 6 months severance, not 3 months. And most of them, you know, are going to be getting a lot more than people get when they're fired, because they are at least getting 3 months. They are at least hopefully getting up to a year worth of health benefits. We're talking about a company with a record high profits and a CEO that got paid $40 million last year, and a CEO that is getting a $200 million payout this year. And I want to read that in a minute, but I get companies do layoffs, but they should have definitely went with 6 months severance here. And I would have felt a little bit different if they had gone with, 6 months severance, but only 3 months. And then a slap in the face with a $200 gift card to their own store. Let's hope that the year worth of healthcare doesn't have any outrageous conditions and it's 100% paid for the year across the board. But they said up to a year, so you know that they're probably going to try to half-ass some of these people. Some of these people aren't going to get the full year. They're going to get screwed out of it. We're not talking about a mom and pop store here. We're talking about a multi-billion dollar company. I said that wrong. A multi-billion dollar company here. We're talking about a company that this is also another controversy going on with them. So investor firm CTW Investment Group is reporting that Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick is poised to receive a huge cash payout to the tune of $200 million. And that's not even talking about last year, where he got $40 million. And then the year before, he got like $30 million. So according to a statement, the firm is none too happy about this, as it appears to come as part of a loophole in the system. Oh, of course it's a loophole in the system. Why are we not surprised? Bobby Kotick isn't just disgustingly rich because he works for Activision Blizzard, or he's the CEO of Activision Blizzard. Bobby Kotick also has ties to like Disney. He also is a CEO at Coca-Cola. So he's part of tons of different industries. But it says right up front, it bears mentioning that CTW is an activist investor group that has a mission to hold directors and executives accountable for what they describe as irresponsible and unethical corporate behavior. I mean, executives should be held accountable when, you have situations going on like this, irresponsible and unethical corporate behavior. When that happens, I definitely think that they should be held accountable. But the numbers they reported appear to stem from their own calculations.
HyperX has just donated $26.
Thank you for the $26 donation, Oron. Much appreciated. Thank you. It says Kotick will reportedly receive this massive payout thanks to the shareholder value creation incentive provision in his employment agreement. This loophole allows Kotick to receive a full performance equity payout from previous years, regardless of whether the company milestones were reached. As a result, in the face of the company's share price increasing over 66% since December 2019, Kotick will get cash rewards dating back to 2017. And the investment group issued a statement reflecting much of what the company said last year when criticizing the Activision Blizzard CEO for raking more than $30 million in 2019. So we're not talking, again, about a small mom and pop's store. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company that has CEOs that are getting paid $200 million this year, $40 million last year, $30 million the year before. Yet they're literally doing something like slapping these laid off employees in the face because they're giving them $200 gift cards to their own PC platform. $200 gift cards don't pay bills. $200 gift cards don't keep you in your house. $200 gift cards don't feed your kids. That it doesn't happen that way. That's not how that works. I think that if they gave people the 6-month severance, they gave them across the board a year worth of health care, I think, a lot of us would feel pretty different, a lot different. But they're doing something like this. Why do they think that this is going to make people happy? Why do they think that this is going to get people to say good things about them? $200 gift card to Activision Blizzard's PC storefront. The company, the multi-billion-dollar company that just laid you off is at least giving you $200 to give back to them. It's literally just like a line in a credit sheet that they're like, oh, okay, they used their card, who cares? Why don't you just give them $2? It doesn't make people feel any better. Blizzard is always doing something to make themselves look terrible, and this is another situation where they're making themselves look terrible again. So it says Activision Blizzard operates 2 massive esports leagues for 2 of its most popular franchises, Overwatch and Call of Duty. Both leagues had global travel-oriented productions planned for 2020 prior to the pandemic, and both had to shift pretty much every part of the operation to online-only production and remote competition. I do understand that they are a company, and unfortunately, COVID has affected them just like everyone else. But really, Blizzard? Really? This is how you respond. Is with, well, we've got a layoff. We're saying 50 people, and it's being reported about 200 people. And they're giving them gift cards. That's all that I really had to discuss about this topic, to be honest. It's just kind of infuriating seeing their wording. Not only the gift card thing, but seeing them say things like up to a year in healthcare, because when they're saying things like that, they're going to try to, play with people and not give them a full year. They're going to say, well, you get 5 months or 6 months. Let's hope that it's just a year across the board for everyone, no matter what their contract said, no matter what happened. I hope that truly it is just a full year across the board for literally everyone. But we don't really know. I mean, they're saying 50 employees. It's being reported almost 200 employees. It is unfortunate that people are getting laid off. It is really unfortunate because a lot of people are struggling right now. But Blizzard can't seem to do anything right. They just keep making themselves look terrible after looking terrible, controversy after controversy. So that's all that I really had to discuss with that topic. We will move on to the next topic in just a minute. But yeah, let me read chat really quickly before we move into the Forbes Disney situation. Next thing, they will be paying people off at loot boxes. Well, I mean, maybe they are. Maybe they have, tried to shut people up by giving them free stuff in their games. All this outrage, quote unquote, over Bobby Kotick's payout. It's not just outrage over his payout. It's outrage from a lot of people over his payout when they're laying off employees and can't even give them more than 3 months of severance. And they're slapping them in the face with $200 gift cards to their platform. Like, imagine, oh, hey, you're going to be laid off and you'll get like 3 months pay and, a $200 gift card to our own storefront. That doesn't make people feel any better. That doesn't help people. timing out messages unfairly.
ThanatosX33
You're going
donated
crazy.
$6.66.
You're going crazy with that mod
Varadark
power.
For being Varadreamy. Love the show.
Well, thank you for the $6.66 donation. I don't know why text-to-speech said that weird. Thank you for the $6.66. Much appreciated. Thank you. Love the show. Well, thank you for being a supporter. What kind of gift cards are they? Starbucks gift cards? No, gift cards to their own storefront. So basically, pieces of paper that say you can spend $200, then pass go. I'd rather take a loot box. Yeah, right. 200 million or $200 gift card? That's a good question. I'll get back to you on that. They should have paid out in Dogecoin. They should have given everyone Bitcoin. No, they wouldn't do that. That's too generous. Blizzard is no better than Disney. I mean, none of these companies are better than one another. They're all garbage most of the time. Unfortunately, they are. I mean, let's look at this. Which company's worse, EA or Blizzard? Which company's worse? That the winner of that, or Disney? Which companies, you know, you could continue to play this game of which company's worse, and you'd end up in the conundrum where they're both equally shitty. Sounds like a tax write-off scheme. The number of the beast. True. They're all pretty terrible companies, though, to be honest. Here's $200 that you'll give right back to us. Thanks. That's literally what Blizzard did. You could have at least, like, jacked everyone's account up with, like, everything in every game. I don't know. At least do something worthwhile. $200. Yeah, that's going to be approximately 8 loot boxes and 1 Overwatch skin. Okay, Blizz. Look at you patting yourself on the back over there. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty shitty of them. Then again, like I've said, you know, every company is shitty at one point or another. It just all depends on how much you support them, where you support them, and why you support them. All right, you guys, so why don't we move into the next topic of the evening, and then we'll talk about the Snyder Cut a little bit. So I wanted to glance over this article. This article is relatively long, so I'm not going to read every single point that is made in it. But Forbes has been putting out a lot of decent articles lately. And mainstream media definitely was anti-Gina Carano when she was fired. We can all see it clear as day, all of the articles that came out where Gina Carano got fired for putting out awful statements on social media. And most mainstream media was behind her firing and was okay with her firing and tried to get everyone to, you know, move on from her firing. But now Forbes, which is a pretty mainstream website, came out with this article, and this article is a couple of days old, but it was only just sent to me, and I thought that we could read through it. Disney's firing of Gina Carano is confusing and hypocritical, lacking sound management. I've been sitting on this article for a while, allowing my opinion to form. That's something that many companies don't do enough of these days. Instead, they often rush to conclusions too fast, yielding to the views of the few vocal members of the community rather than allowing time and consideration to inform decisions. If that ain't true, that is so true. The latest example is Disney's firing of Gina Carano from The Mandalorian in February. Obviously, I've covered that situation a lot here on the channel, which is why I haven't really been putting out too many videos on it lately. I've mainly just been putting Gina Carano focused topics into discussion streams. But it says she is a conservative who is not shy about expressing her views, the latest being a comment that compared conservatives to being silenced and canceled today to Jews being targeted during the Holocaust. An exaggerated comparison, yes, but enough to fire her, doubtful. She's more guilty of a bad comparison. Gina should have likened today's conservative cancel culture to the 1950s congressional hearing held to expose entertainment people who were members or sympathizers of the Communist Party. I think that this is such a comment that a lot of people would agree with. This whole article really is a lot of things that people would agree with. Was Gina Carano's comparison not the best? I think a lot of people think that. Was it enough to get her fired, though? No. She didn't do anything that incited violence. She didn't say anything that was like, go and harass this person, go and harass this specific group of people, let's cause some big bad situation. She didn't incite violence. She should not have been fired because she put her opinions on social media and because she shared posts. The straw that broke the camel's back, and I've talked about this, wasn't even a post that she technically made. This post that the comment about that compared conservatives being silenced and canceled today to Jews being targeted during the Holocaust wasn't even something that she posted in her own words. It was a post on Instagram that she actually put on her stories. Basically, it was a form of like retweeting it. It was sharing it basically. And that to Disney was enough to fire her, to give in to outrage on social media and to try to ruin her career. So it says 10 influential actors and screenwriters were eventually jailed and blacklisted by the major movie studios for denouncing the hearings and refusing to name those who had expressed communist sympathies. That's a better comparative. Ironically, when Disney fired Gina for her opinions, it inadvertently proved her point. Of course it did. She was literally talking about people being attacked over their political opinions, and she had voiced this a lot, but she felt that conservatives kind of have a bad rap online, and conservatives are targeted a lot. Conservatives are attacked a lot simply for being conservatives. And she, by pointing that out, got fired for it, and ironically, inadvertently proved her point. So it says we can disagree as to whether Disney was justified or not in firing Gina, but one thing is clear: Disney's management of its social responsibility persona is woefully flawed. This is so true. And I say this a lot. You can disagree with what Gina Carano said. You can agree with what Gina Carano said. Ultimately, you're allowed to have your opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion. My cat is allowed to have her own opinion. The point is that we're all adults, and we should be able to talk like adults. And that's something that doesn't really happen a lot on social media. There's a lot of divide on things like social media. You're either in one category of people or you're in another category of people. That's like people come to my channel and say, oh, Vera, you're a this. Oh, Vera, you're a that. Some people say, sometimes I lean left. Some people say I'm a hard conservative sometimes. To liberals, I'm a conservative, and to conservatives, I'm a liberal. I'm being labeled things all the time because I don't say outright, oh, I'm a this or I'm a that. And I don't do that. I don't think that people should be judged just by being labeled something. And that's something that does happen a lot. And in this situation, Gina Carano put her opinions on social media, political, and a lot of her opinions that weren't strictly political. And she ended up, proving her point. Or Disney ended up proving her point. So to begin, the company's approach is confusing. Many assert that Pedro Pascal, star of The Mandalorian, offered similar analogies that Carano did, though with a liberal bent, when he shared a now-deleted Instagram post comparing Donald Trump voters to Nazis. Pascal kept his job. This is a problem. If Gina Carano got fired for putting her political opinions online, then Pedro Pascal should be fired for putting his political opinions online. You guys know this. I do not agree with, the way that Disney has operated. I do not think that Gina Carano should have gotten fired. Therefore, I do not think that Pedro Pascal should be fired. But if one's going to get fired, then another should be fired. It's only being fair here. If one person's going to get fired for doing something, if another person does it, then they should face the same consequences if that's a company policy. But clearly, the people at Disney have a political leaning, and Bob Chapek tried to say recently that Disney doesn't have a political lean. He wouldn't call Disney left or Disney right or the people at Disney left or right. Bullshit-dorino. So Disney's inconsistent approach led outsiders to suspect that Disney leans left, something that CEO Bob Chapek denied. Again, it says, I don't really see Disney as characterizing itself as left-leaning or right-leaning. Bullshit-dorino. But management cannot afford to treat employees differently for similar actors. So Disney's actions also appear hypocritical. At the same shareholders meeting, Bob Chapek went on to say that Disney believes in values of respect, values of decency, values of integrity, values of inclusion. And we seek to have not only how we operate, but the content that we make is reflective of the rich diversity of the world that we live in. It's all just PR talk, but that's a noble goal, well said. But while Disney shapes and declares these aspirations for U.S. consumption, it turned a blind eye to China when the company shot Mulan in the same Chinese province where the government forced millions of Uyghur Muslims into interim camps. Disney is filled with hypocrites. I'm never going to be sponsored by Disney at all. F for me, guys. Support me. You better subscribe to the channel because these companies, they're never going to like me. But Bob Chapek said things like, our company values respect and decency and integrity and inclusion. Someone like Gina Carano does too. Gina Carano values integrity. Gina Carano values inclusion. Gina Carano values human life. I'd argue more than a company like Disney who's only out to make money. And she got fired because people at Disney didn't like her political leaning. She got fired. Yet someone, like one of her co-workers, is allowed to stay hired by Disney because he had a different political leaning. How is that fair? How is that okay? Seriously. How is that okay? I don't understand. Continuing on though, it says Disney's approach is dangerous. Canceling people for their views is the proverbial slippery slope. The maxim, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it, is losing ground to a rather frightening alternative of I disapprove of what you say and I will cancel you for it. I will never agree with this. I disapprove of what you say and I will cancel you for it. Never will I ever. I am someone who has said it in videos, who says it on my platform. Even if I disagree with what you say, I disagree with what you do, I will defend your right to say it. We're not talking about things that incite violence or that are harming people. We're talking about words on the internet, like people, sharing posts. Yes, people definitely have influences on social media. Actors, actresses have influence, directors have influence. But at the same time, Gina Carano got fired because she shared something and she had a different political leaning than the one at the company. In the past, organizations that needed to distance themselves from employees' controversial opinions would make a public statement. My YouTube dashboard just reset. Hold on one second. Okay, we're good. Sorry. For some reason, my YouTube dashboard had reset. Rip me. Where was I? In the past, organizations that needed to distance themselves from employees' controversial opinions would make a public statement that the employees' opinions are theirs alone and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Banishment was reserved for more egregious behaviors like drug abuse, assault, robbery, and murder. The 1950s blacklisting experience reinforced our belief that speech and political affiliation needed to be protected, but we seem to have forgotten that lesson. There are too many sensitive Sallys online. I say this all the time when it comes to people online, whether it's on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, whatever your platform may be. People are sensitive Sallys, and if they don't like your opinion, they won't accept your opinion. People should be able to be adults and act respectful towards each other. I might not like your opinion, but I can respect that you have your own opinion, and people should be allowed to have their own opinions. But no. It's 2021. Can't do that. That would be awful and terrible to act like adults. So as companies cancel people for their opinions, it feeds a dangerous cycle. The more they cancel, the more they embolden the mob to target more people and organizations, then repeat. Disney and many other organizations are playing a very dangerous game out of fear, misplaced sincerity, all those things. The beast they helped to create and indulge may eventually devour them. We see this happen now. Let's just look at SJW specifically. SJWs are starting to eat SJWs alive in a sense. They are starting to attack things that were created specifically for them because they say it's not enough. This is a problem with outraged people online. Nothing is ever enough. This is a big problem. You could tell a company you need to do X, Y, and Z, and they will do it, and then you'll say you need to do Z, Y, X. You'll tell them, oh, you're doing it one way, but you're not doing it the right way. This is a big problem, because then companies end up marketing and pandering to a specific group of people, and then the people that originally just wanted the product, they try to turn around and remarket to, and then it doesn't work. So it ends up with no one's happy and no one's okay with anything. So it says organizations need a more thoughtful system, not a knee-jerk reaction to guide decisions regarding who gets fired and who doesn't. They need to specify what constitutes the most egregious offenses. It needs to be transparent so the rules are known and not hidden in vague platitudes to open interpretation. It cannot be the decision of one person, but should be made by a group of people with varied views to apply to a standard yardstick. I definitely agree with basically most everything that's in this article. I read a lot of it, and that's where I'm going to stop with this article because that was the end. But I definitely agree with a lot of what is being said in this article, and I think that a lot of you guys would too. It's a very unfortunate case with what happened with Gina Carano. Luckily, Gina Carano is someone who is strong and knows her worth, and Gina Carano is someone who can take anything and be confident in herself and know, you're not going to ruin my career, and tell these people you're not going to ruin my career. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't as strong as she is. She's definitely a very strong woman. But let's look in the case of many other actors and actresses. They would bend over backwards to not piss Disney off. And then we end up with situations of people self-censoring themselves, people not being true to themselves, people just trying to protect their careers. And I get that people want to protect their careers. I understand that there are actors, actresses, comedians, directors, producers that don't want to ruin their career. They've worked so hard to get into the industry. But someone like Gina Carano was the rare instance of someone who stands by what she said, what she's done, and isn't afraid to just, be herself. And even if you disagree with who she is, or let's say the stances she has politically or non-politically, that's okay. You're allowed to disagree with, things that she does or things that she says or posts, I should say. But at the same time, you should be able to say, I disagree with you, but that's your opinion. And you should be able to move on, because ultimately it's social media, and if you don't like what someone's saying on social media, you block them and move on to the next post. So that's all that I really had to discuss with that. And next, we are going to end off the stream with quickly talking about the Justice League, the Snyder Cut, and yeah, that's about it. SJW cannibalism will be in the next Walking Dead. Maybe. Maybe. Well, the thing is that I see people in chat saying things like leftists have the mindset of toddlers at best. The thing is that anyone, no matter what your political affiliation is, no matter where you sit on, you know, a political compass or a political scale, there are people that could act like babies no matter what, or people that are intolerant of other people's opinions no matter what. It happens on both sides. I mean, I get what you're saying. I am picking up what you're putting down for sure. But, you know, it's like people can be mean no matter what their, like, political affiliation is. Disney gave a warning to Rosario Dawson. It is a rumor that Disney apparently told Rosario Dawson, you know, hey, maybe you shouldn't be, like, making posts on social media that are political, because she does from time to time. But at the same time, I mean, look who she's dating. She's not married to... She's not married to Cory Booker, is she? Or is she... no, they're just dating. She's just dating Cory Booker. I mean, just look at who she's dating. I was gonna say who she's married to, but then I realized, oh, well, yeah, no. They're not married, but they're dating. So, yeah. Be you, not left or right. Be you. I agree with that. I mean, it's like me. People label me this and that all the time, and I'm like, okay, sure. Whatever you say. SWOTOR stream when? Do you guys really want to see a SWOTOR stream? Yes or no in chat, quickly, before we start Justice League. Spam yes or no. Star Wars The Old Republic, Star Wars the MMO stream, yes or no. Because I'm a master at the game. I've mentioned this before, but I'm literally the best healer in the game. And I could show you guys a couple of my moves sometime. Yeah, it's just a rumor. It's not confirmed that they, like, gave her a warning or anything. It's just, like, a rumor. There's been a lot of you know, Disney, Lucasfilm, Star Wars rumors lately. Okay. I was just reading chat, catching up with chat really quickly. I'm an equal opportunity offender. Yes, 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 yes. I do not see any no's. Straw poll? I'd straw poll, but I don't even see a single no. Okay, I finally see a no. Oh, man. Come on, manga fan. You were the chosen one. Okay. My cat is looking at me like, is it dinner time? Can you shut the hell up? It's dinner time. Alright, guys. Maybe I'll consider doing a Star Wars stream. Join our Discord. Follow me on social media, like Twitter and Minds. I'll update you there, but join our Discord. We can talk about it in the video game chat. I was going to say not the video game chat. I was going to say the anime chat. I was like, Star Wars in the anime chat. What? In the video game chat. Alright, guys, so let's kind of move on to the final topic of the night. This is going to be more of just like a quick overview. Now, a lot of you guys know and are very excited for the fact that Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out tomorrow. Right now, it is 9:15 p.m. Eastern. It comes out at 3 a.m. Eastern, so in just a couple of hours. And a lot of us have been very excited for the Snyder Cut. But the early reviews are up from critics, And I wanted to read through just a couple of them really quickly because right now, the early scores for the Justice League, or Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'm just going to refer to it as the Justice League or the Snyder Cut. The early critic reviews for the Snyder Cut are not looking very good. Unfortunately, the Snyder Cut scores right now are pretty mediocre, not even gonna lie. Now, the thing with the Snyder Cut is that they did definitely reuse some footage that was in the original movie. They did use a lot of footage that wasn't put into the original movie that was filmed, and they also did re-record some scenes and just record a couple of new scenes for the movie. But ultimately, it's not going to be a brand new movie, and I think that that's a standard we all need to realize and have, because while it will be different, quite a bit different, the beginning's going to be the same, the characters are going to be the same, and the ending is going to be the same. We're not talking about a brand new movie. We're talking about a 4-hour version of the previous movie that came out, and while they did add in, dark side, and they are trying to add in new elements to it, it's not going to be some brand new movie. And I think a lot of people are feeling right now that this is going to be like the best superhero movie ever, that this is going to be like drastically different. And while I think it definitely will be different, and I'm hoping it's going to be good, I feel like a lot of people are walking into this with maybe a little bit of the wrong mindset. I'm looking forward to the Justice League. I truly hope that I watch this and I'm blown away and I'm stunned, and I think that the Snyder Cut will be great, because I was someone who hoped that Snyder would get his own cut of the movie, and I'm glad he's getting his own cut of the movie. But I just wanted to kind of casually read some of the Metacritic scores, ratings, reviews, holy shit, and some of the Rotten Tomatoes. So right now on Metacritic, it is sitting at a 56 Metascore from critics and a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. So in chat, I want you guys to tell me, are you excited about the Snyder Cut? Yes or no? And if you are or aren't, why are you or why are you not? So right now it's at a 56% Metascore. I'm just gonna go to the mixed, because I feel like mixed usually are pretty good. The positive ones are very positive right now. A lot of the positive ones right now are saying, like, this is way more than a lot of films do, and it's way better than the previous version. The new movie, and make no mistake, it is a new movie, is more of a vindication of Snyder's original vision. It's grand, nimble, and immersive. It's really good. A lot of people, a lot of the critics are liking it. I wouldn't say a lot, but I'd say quite a lot of them are really liking it. But let's go over to the mixed ones. So someone said, 60 from Vulture, the Snyder Cut has its share of problems. When you get to the best of Snyder, you also get the worst. But it's an undeniably passionate and moving work. It earns its self-importance. I really like this statement. It's undeniably passionate. I do really like that, because I do think that Zack Snyder puts a lot of passion into a lot of things that he does. Here we go. Film. Though suffering from its own shortcomings, Zack Snyder's gargantuan Justice League is a commendable improvement on the widely derided original. Stock up on snacks. I mean, this thing is freaking 4 hours long. This thing is long. This is a thick woman, okay? 60. For long stretches, Zack Snyder's Justice League feels more like a rough assembly than a director's cut. It appears to include every single shred of footage Snyder shot, no matter how superfluous to the story. It will absolutely delight the hardcorest of hardcore Snyder fans. I'm not sure how more casuals will react to a longer and bleaker version of the same movie they already saw and dislike. I think that that's going to be a trend here. If you disliked the original Justice League movie, I have a feeling you're going to dislike this one. And if you liked the original movie, I have a feeling you're going to like this one. I could be wrong, because Justice League was very mixed, but I have a feeling if you really didn't like the first one, you're probably not going to like this one that much. And if you really liked the first one, you're going to like it. I wasn't someone who hated the first Justice League, or the first version of the Justice League. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. But I didn't hate it either, and I was hoping that Snyder's Justice League was going to be much, much better. It might be bad, but it might be fucking amazing, and I hope it's really good. But someone said 60. Snyder's Justice League is an entertaining, if overlong, superhero flick in its own right. If this is the last DC film Snyder directs, it's a satisfactory exit. And then we start to really get into the ones that dip. A 40. The cut isn't going to win anyone over. It's a self-serious sermon to its converted, that it isn't terribly concerned with getting the audience to like its characters, but it goes all down much smoother than the theatrical cut, which feels garnished and jagged by comparison. Now, if we go over to Rotten Tomatoes, it is at a 77% right now. How do I view them specifically? Okay, Rotten. Let's go to Rotten. So, a movie that's a lot closer to content than to cinematic art, or even a movie that inspires thrills, touches, or moves. What the hell, 4 hours? Really? Yes, it is 4 hours long. You are in for a long haul if you watch this. I'm generally neutral towards comic movies. Fair enough. HBO Max don't have it. You don't need HBO Max if you sail the seas. DC and Marvel is too SJW and unfaithful to source material for me. Fair enough. What are Vera's choice of snacks for this Snyder marathon? So I'm probably not going to binge watch all 4 hours of it at once. Tomorrow, if you're watching this live, hi. Tomorrow I've got 2 live streams to do. I'm doing one at probably like 12:50 Eastern, almost 1 p.m. Eastern, because at 1 p.m. Square Enix is doing an event, so that's going to be 40 minutes long, so I'll probably be streaming for about an hour from 1 to 2 Eastern, and then I'm going to be streaming some Nier Automata tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. So I've got 2 streams to do tomorrow, so I don't think I'm going to be able to binge it all at once because 4 hours, but I'll probably at least watch half of it if I'm lucky. They're pissed that it isn't woke garbage. That is true. Now, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, keep in mind, sometimes reviewer scores are really high and audience scores are really low, and sometimes reviewer scores are really, really, really low, and they say it's a garbage movie, and the fan scores are like really, really high, and we all really love it. So we don't know which direction it's going to go, but I hope that it's good. At least, please. Thank you. I don't know how to say thank you in any other languages, but thank you. Don't get your hopes up.
Commando
yeah,
has
fair
just
enough.
donated $100. Hi.
What? Why? Thank you so much, Brando Commando, for the $100 donation. Hi to you too. Let's take it a step further. How are you doing tonight? Thank you so much for the $100 freaking donation. Thank you. A ton. Appreciated. I never saw Justice League, so I'm going in fresh. Then you'll probably enjoy it, to be honest. I have a feeling people are going to be really bored. I don't know. I have this weird feeling that we're going to be a little bit bored by this version because we've already seen a lot of the content that's in it. Now, not all of it, because a lot of it is new or content we didn't see that was cut out from the original version. But I think if you're going into this open-minded, I think that you'll probably enjoy it. I'll be watching it 2 hours at a time unless it's that good. I agree, Discount Superhero. I'll probably watch 2 and 2 unless I'm feeling really, really hyped about it and I'm really, really loving it. I have a feeling the first half of the movie is going to be slow, and then the second half is going to be action-packed. Could be wrong. I hope it's a good balance, though. But snacks that I'll eat, probably lots of brownies and ice cream and chips and soda, and pizza. Maybe a carrot if I'm feeling healthy. But thank you again, Commando, for the $100 donation. So some of the other reviews are like, Snyder improves a lot of areas from this 2017 release, but all of Snyder's bad habits are amplified as well. You've got things like even a good superhero flick shouldn't be this long. As you guys can see, there are a lot of negative reviews for it. And let me just update the critic scores really quickly just to make sure. Yeah, it's still 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, and on Metacritic, it is still a 50. Oh, it went to a 57 from a 56. So right now, the reviews aren't doing too amazing. They're doing average, though. They're doing okay. The Metacritic scores are usually a bit more honest, and it's a lower, so I'm a little bit worried. But overall, it sounds like, at least I'm hoping it'll be an okay time. So that's all that I really had to discuss for the evening. We talked about Ruby Rose and Batwoman. We talked about Activision Blizzard, Disney, in their freaking hypocrisy, and we talked about the Justice League. If you guys have any questions or topics you'd like me to discuss, please feel free to put them into the chat now. I would be happy to answer them, and I'll probably end stream in about 10 minutes. So keep sticking around, guys. If you're enjoying the live stream, give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Magic brownies? No, just brownies. I'm chilling. How are you? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Gotta have that carrot to balance it all out. Yeah. Maybe a pickle, too. For, like, a pepper. Something not covered in sugar. See Vera eat a carrot on her OnlyFans. Wow. Oh, how the times have changed. Triple Baconator with a large Diet Coke. Triple Baconator sounds gross. Not gonna lie. Pretzels. Pretzels are good when they're dipped in cheese and... Ooh, or chocolate. Pretzels by themselves, though. Pretzels with cream cheese. That's good. Metacritic is just as bad as Rotten Tomatoes. I don't believe critic reviews, really. 100% honest. I do not really trust critic scores. I just feel like Metacritic usually is a bit more honest, though. Either way, Vera, are you watching The Falcon and Winter Soldier on Friday? Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'm trying to go in with a slightly open mind because I'm not a huge fan of Falcon or Bucky. I think they're kind of okay. I'm looking for like Loki and more Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange. I'm looking for Asgardians. I'm looking for magic. I am looking for wizards. That's my jam. But I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I'm gonna watch it.
Donated $104.
In a way. Who's on the high seas? Thank you, Oron. Holy shit, for the $104 donation. I appreciate it. No donation message. No donation message. Thank you, Oron, for the 104. Thank you a ton. Music, where the hell did you go? Loki definitely looks interesting. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't know. Honestly, when it comes to Disney and Marvel, I'm not impressed with them lately. I feel like the company's bad. Their writing has been pretty bad. The people they hire have been bad. The situations they put themselves into have been bad. I'm not going to advocate for Disney. But then again, how many of you in chat are going to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier? Put a 1 in chat if you're going to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, and a 2 if you're not going to. 1, you are. 2, you are not. And if you are, how are you going to watch it? That's a good question. Watch it for Steve Rogers, Vera? Yeah, I guess. No faith in anyone? Yeah, I have no faith in anyone either. V wants to see some shit go down. I want to see Asgardians, gods, lasers, magic. I want to see spells. I want to see runes. I want to see explosions. Just not a guy with a jetpack. And another guy with a shield. And them making funny dad jokes. Lots of twos. I'm surprised. I think it's because everyone watched WandaVision. I'd say that most of you who aren't going to watch this have watched WandaVision and were disappointed. I'd put money on that. Do you think Disney Marvel Plus peaked with WandaVision? WandaVision wasn't even that amazing. It wasn't even that good. It wasn't even that good. I watched it not on Disney Plus, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like that's the problem, is that their writing's so garbage now. I feel like we all get excited, and a big problem that I've said in the past, and even specifically with WandaVision, is that they're too afraid to bring actors in. They're too afraid to bring big names in. If they had brought Doctor Strange into WandaVision, WandaVision would have been amazing. They didn't do it. They didn't pull the plug. Even Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Doctor Strange, basically said he was waiting for the call and never got it. The problem with DC is that DC also, their content's been kind of mediocre. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Triple heart attack, pretzels and cheese? Yeah, you know, like nachos. It's like chips, tortilla chips and cheese, only it's pretzel and cheese. You guys have never had pretzels and cheese? You guys are losers. What the heck? You guys have never had pretzels and cheese? Sheesh. I'm supposed to be the young one here. I haven't been much into movies lately. I'm excited for Godzilla vs. Kong. That comes out in 2 weeks. I'm obviously gonna watch the Snyder Cut and give that a chance. And there's one other movie that wasn't DC or Marvel that comes out in like 2 or 3 months. I don't remember what it is though, that I was like, I'll watch it. Have you seen Raya and the Last Dragon? No. I am not supporting Disney at all monetarily, and the only content that I've watched is WandaVision lately. That was Marvel/Disney. That's the only thing that I've watched. And I didn't even monetarily support them. Vera be bullying us? I'm not bullying you guys. I love pretzels and cheese. I've had pretzels with cheese in them. Oh, fascinating. Auntie Anne's Flames. They had a bunch of different cheese dips in their pretzels. Auntie Anne's is garbage. Cheese is good with everything. Cheese and chocolate. Okay, go ahead, mix up a bowl of cheese and chocolate and tweet me a video of you eating it. See, because that's not good. That's not okay. If you eat cheese and chocolate, you are a fiend. Who you got, Vera, Godzilla or Kong? Fucking Godzilla! How is a monkey gonna win? I know Kong is strong, but like, we've got Godzilla with radioactive lasers? Godzilla, who's taller than Kong? A monkey versus Godzilla. Kong is cool. Kong is smart, but Kong can't beat Godzilla. Come on, man. Is that really a fair fight? Who do you... Okay, really quickly, I'm gonna end stream in a minute. Who do you guys would think would win? The monkey or Godzilla? I'd like to clarify, Kong is cool, but not as cool as Godzilla. Who do you think? Godzilla or Kong? Quickly. Cheese and chocolate, gross. I'm not the one that said cheese goes with everything. That is disgusting. Mac and cheese is good. I knew it. I bet she will say Godzilla. Of course I was gonna say Godzilla. Monkey versus dinosaur. Kong has a lot of cool things about him. Kong is like really cool. Okay, I'm not trying to say he's lame by any means, but you guys get it. Monkey has no chance of winning. Godzilla. Godzilla, 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 Godzilla. You guys know. We are in for the win. Monkey for the win? No. Also, guys, can we just talk about this really quickly? I just saw this on my screen. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Thanks, Zack Snyder. I know he can completely cut her out. Man, I think I'm suddenly feeling some regret for being hopeful. No, I'm not. It's just like, I understand. Also, there's also people boycotting the Justice League. Mechagodzilla, well, obviously, Mechagodzilla could beat anyone. A big debate. We've had it here on the channel before. Kong has weapons. That's true. Kong has weapons. But Godzilla has radioactive laser eyes. Kong is strong. Kong has some power. He's got this giant axe. If you guys saw that in the one of the posters, looks so cool. I'm excited. I think it's definitely going to be a fair fight. I think that they're going to make it a very fair fight. We'll see. Stop simping for Godzilla. Guys, come on. Godzilla's cool. Priorities here. Yeah, Amber Heard. All you Godzilla stans. I have no opinion on who wins. That's, you know, Mansfield, you do have a point. Kong has weapons and battle tactics, and that could equal a win. But I think Godzilla's just cooler. At least in my opinion. I mean, I said that at the beginning anyway. Bacon and chocolate sounds gross, but I actually know that people do eat that, so. Anyway, guys, I think I am going to wind down the stream here. Yeah, it's Amber Heard. Amber Heard is in it, and she did reshoot some scenes, so we do know that was actively a part of this. Old Godzilla movies are the bomb. I do definitely agree with that. Is that the witch that beat up Jack Sparrow? Yes, that is Amber Heard, his ex-wife, who Me Too'd him. Godzilla is much bigger than Kong. That is true. And Godzilla has lasers. And Godzilla is giant. And Godzilla has a lot of spooky moves. I'm just saying, if King Kong tried to kill me, I'd be more afraid of Godzilla trying to kill me than a big monkey. He does have weapons, though, and strategy, and he's smart, so that's true. But I still think that Godzilla's cooler. Anyway, you guys, I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the live stream, please make sure to give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Tomorrow, if you're watching this live, hi, thanks for the support. Tomorrow at probably like 12:50 Eastern, I will be live streaming because at 1:00 p.m. Eastern, there is a Square Enix event, and Square Enix is supposed to be showing off a ton of their games, new content for their games, and Square Enix is also going to be showing off a world premiere for a brand new game, so I'm going to be live streaming that, so I'll probably be live streaming for about an hour since it's like 50 minutes. And then tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be here live streaming Nier Automata. So 2 live streams tomorrow. Stop by if you want. Otherwise, please consider joining our Discord. We're very active there. I tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live streams. I also post my videos there as well. If you want to support the channel long term, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. All of the links are in the description. Also links to social media. Follow me on Twitter, Minds, BitChute, Instagram, all of those fun places. Thank you for the donations tonight, you guys. I really do appreciate them. Thanatos, Brandon Commando, Oron. Thank you guys a ton for all of your generous donations. Really do appreciate it. But with that being said, I will be live streaming tomorrow. Join our Discord. Check out the links in the description. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic evening, everyone. Godzilla is better than Monkey.